So, one of the most popular changes the XFL has made has been the kickoffs, but there's a second kickoff change that hasn't been talked about nearly as much because it happens much less, and that is in the fourth quarter only. If a team is about to kick off and they are tied or trailing, they may instead attempt a 4th and 15 conversion from the minus 25-yard line. Now, I'm known to have a little bit of complaints about a lot of stuff in the XFL, and I actually don't have too much to say about this, except for the fact that since this is replacing an onside kick, I'd like for teams to be able to attempt this anytime they could attempt an onside kick, which is at any point in the game they're going to kick off. I think it's an exciting play that has a lot going on it, so I don't understand why they're limiting it to just the fourth quarter and just to trailing teams when it can be just as important to try to get the ball back, to get ahead, or to capitalize on your stronger offense. But that's aside the point, because we're looking at how all 9 of the attempts so far have played out to see if it really is as exciting as people have promised. In week 1, it was everything you could hope for. With 90 seconds left in the game, down by 12, the Feathered Fencers throw a jump ball to the right side of the end zone to bring themselves within 3 points, where on this 4th and 15, they would find my former classmate Austin Prohl for a first down and would go on to win the game, which is exactly what we wanted from this rule. A smart play, finding the one-on-one coverage in this situation to get a man open on the sideline for exactly 15 yards. Also in week 1, we'd see probably what you shouldn't do, which is when the Renegades were taking on the Vegas Viper, we'd see Perez throw it into double coverage across the middle of the field for more yards than they actually needed, getting both his receiver in quite a sticky situation and his team a big fat L. But that wasn't the last we'd see of people attempt this. Of course, the next week was week 3, where the Carr and Cutlasses inexplicably get the ball back on the 2-yard line against the DC Defenders in what looked like was setting up to be one of the craziest endings in football. Then they find themselves quickly scoring, where they're set up to be the first team to attempt a second, I actually don't know what you call this play, but you know what I'm talking about, the 4th and 15 thing. And as they line up, we're going to start to see a trend here, that the DC Defenders are really good on 4th and 15, because all their DBs are playing exactly at the 40, and they just play a short prevent defense because it doesn't matter if they get anything less than 15 yards, but what's even better is they end up getting the sack, which ends the game right there. The next week, we find the Defenders in a similar situation, just without the goofy blunder leading to the Vegas Vipers needing a big conversion to win them the game. You can see that they're going with the same strat, drop 7, rush 4, and just like last week, and unlike my father, the rush finds its way home with the presumptuous pack of cigarettes it went out to go get, showing the DC Defenders' elite defense once again. Week 5, we were able to see a little diversity in both who's running these plays and how they're impacting the game, and you're going to see a common character from here on out, which is the Houston Roughnecks, take a page out of the Battlehawks playbooks, running an eerily similar route to what they did week 1 to an eerily similar result. The difference is the Roughnecks would immediately turn the ball back over 2 plays later to go on to lose this game. Now, the Orlando Guardians would also take their first attempt this week against the second team to attempt an onside-ish thing, and well, the Vipers were as ready for it as the Renegades were, but opted to steal a page out of the DC Defenders playbook, politely making the Guardians QB go horizontal before the pass was even attempted. And in the 6th week, the 7th attempt was happening, and we were ready to see some real ingenuity out of the Houston Roughnecks, going for the old hook and ladder play, which usually works unless the defense is playing a max protect like this, because after the pitch, the man with the ball was surrounded by more DC defenders, and if you tried to run at the president with your hand in your pocket, leading to an unsuccessful attempt. Now, just this week, we got the Roughnecks again on the flip side of the coin, where they're going to do the unthinkable and actually commit a penalty on this play to give up the first down. From there, the Brahmas would drive down the field and kick a field goal, taking the game to overtime, but then they remember that they're actually the worst XFL Texas team of the 3 and lose in overtime, which takes us to the final test for our poor DC Defenders, who must once again DC defend against this play. And after a short Tom and Jerry act in the backfield between the D-line and QB, an overthrown ball ends arguably the best game in the XFL so far. And all in all, it's definitely more exciting of a play than an onside kick, but I also think the onside has some magic to it. I wish teams could switch in and out between this depending on what situation they felt like they had best, but I still really like this style of play.